Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle that confusing, chaotic cluster of shapes you find on the back of pretty much every computer. We are going to turn that digital jigsaw puzzle into a picture that is crystal clear.
So, have you ever found yourself just staring at this mess of connectors, trying to guess which cable goes where? We've all been there. Well, you know what? Those days are over. We're going to make sense of this whole thing, one plug at a time.
All right, first up, let's talk about the ports that actually bring your screen to life. This is an area where we've seen this incredible evolution, all the way from a fuzzy, kind of blurry analog past to the razor-sharp digital world we live in now. Ah, yes, the classic VGA port. If you've been around computers for a little while, this blue trapezoid shape is probably an old friend. This thing was the undisputed old-school champion of video connections for decades.
Okay, so the main thing to get about VGA is that it's analog. Think of it like this. It's sending a photocopy of a picture down the wire. It's a decent representation, sure, but it can get fuzzy and lose detail. The newer ports? They send the digital instructions to create a perfect replica, every single time. Now let's jump forward to a port I guarantee you'll find on almost every TV, every modern computer, every game console, you name it. This is HDMI, and it absolutely changed the game.
You see, the big breakthrough with HDMI was all about simplification. Before this, you needed one big, chunky cable just for the video, and then separate cables for the sound. HDMI was brilliant because it combined that crystal-clear digital picture and the sound into one simple plug. That's why it totally conquered the living room.
But the evolution didn't stop there. This next port, DisplayPort, might look a little bit like HDMI at first glance, but it became a huge favorite among PC gamers and creative professionals for some really good reasons.
So here's how to think about it. If HDMI is the jack of all trades, DisplayPort is its more powerful, specialized cousin. It's built for pushing the absolute limits, powering monitors with super smooth, high refresh rates, and even letting you link multiple screens together in a chain, all from a single port on your computer. Pretty cool, right? So while all this was happening with video ports, another port was on a totally different mission. A mission to replace almost everything else. I'm talking, of course, about the Universal Serial Bus, or as we all know it, USB.
You know this one. Oh, we all know this one. It's for your mouse, your keyboard, your thumb drives, and you have a 50% chance of plugging it in right on the first try, but somehow a 100% chance of getting it wrong on the first 2 tries. It's a law of physics, I think.
Its job was actually pretty simple, but it was revolutionary for its time. The whole idea was to create one standard connector that could handle all your accessories, replacing that confusing jumble of different ports that came before it. And for that, it was a massive success.
Okay, now this. This small, symmetrical, oval shape completely changes the entire game. And I mean it. This isn't just a new plug. It's a whole new philosophy for how our devices connect to each other.
Seriously, the jump from USB-A to USB-C wasn't just an update. It was a revolution. First off, it's reversible, so you can't plug it in wrong, finally. It's also blazing fast. But here's the real kicker. It's a true universal port. It can carry data, video, and enough power to charge a full-on laptop all through one tiny, single cable.
But wait a second. That looks identical to USB-C, right? Well, it is. But see that little lightning bolt symbol next to it? That's there for a very good reason. This is Thunderbolt, and it is the supercar version.
Just think of it as USB-C on steroids. It uses that same super convenient reversible connector, but it packs way more performance. Everything USB-C does, Thunderbolt just does it faster. So if you're a creative professional moving massive files like 4K video, this is the port you've been dreaming of.
All right, next up are the unsung heroes. These are the workhorse ports that get you connected to the internet and let you actually hear what's going on. The absolute essentials.
So in this group, we've got a couple of key players. Over on the left is the Ethernet port. It kind of looks like a wider telephone jack. And on the right, that colorful round PS/2 port. A bit of a relic you might still spot on some desktop motherboards.
Yeah, these are the real workhorses. The Ethernet port is your ticket to a fast, super stable internet connection, which is absolutely crucial for serious gaming or streaming. PS2 is that dedicated color-coded standard for keyboards and mice before USB took over. And of course, the simple universal audio jacks that we still use every single day.
Okay, now for a quick trip back in time. You know, before USB came along and unified everything, the back of a PC was a wild place. So let's meet some of the dinosaurs of the port world.
The takeover was just so dramatic. We used to have these huge, dedicated ports for absolutely everything. A giant one for your printer, another one for your modem, a completely different one for your joystick. But once USB arrived back in 1996, their days were numbered. USB was just easier, more versatile, and it led to their extinction.
So, after that journey through the past and the present of computer connections, you have to ask, where are we headed? Well, the trend could not be clearer.
The entire story of how ports have evolved is really about one thing: consolidation. It's this relentless march towards having fewer but much more powerful and versatile connectors. We're moving away from a world of specialized plugs to a world where one port can, well, rule them all.
And that really brings us to the end game. We started with this entire grid of different shapes and sizes and colors. Now, just imagine all of it being replaced by just 2 or 3 simple USB-C and Thunderbolt ports. And that's not science fiction. That's the future we're already starting to live in.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As we get closer and closer to having a single, all-powerful port that can handle absolutely everything, what new possibilities does that open up? I mean, what does the perfectly simple computer of the future really look like?